Hello, this short sequence is designed for those of you that are dealing with pelvic pain in any and all its forms, and for those of you that are just wishing to take things down a notch. It's a gentle, soothing sequence that will involve some floor postures, some minimal standing postures, and then Shavasana at the end. There are no seated postures in this sequence at all, but there are some props that you may like to have with you in order to complement the practice. The props that you may like to have is a bolster. And if you don't have a bolster, then I recommend grabbing 2, 3, maybe even 4 decently filled cushions or pillows that you can use to lie back on and support the body. You also may like to have a strap, and if you don't have a strap, then a nice long scarf will suffice, and that's going to be used for when we stretch out through the backs of the legs. You may like to have an eye pillow handy for the end of class and maybe even the beginning when we do our breath awareness, that you can use to place either over the eyes or maybe just on the forehead. Even that provides a sense of relaxation. If you don't have an eye pillow, a scarf, a towel, anything else will suffice just to create that sense of darkness when we come into our relaxation. And then finally, something warm that you can put over yourself at the end of the class, because once you become still, your body temperature will drop and you will get cold quite quickly. So if you're going to use these props, maybe pause the video now, jump up and grab them, and then come back and join us. Those of you that are using the pillows, as you can see here, I have 2 on the base and then a 3rd one on the top. And when we're going to lie down on these pillows, we're going to make sure that the pelvis is just kind of touching the very bottom of that first pillow, and then you lie back, ensuring that the neck and the head is supported. So make any adjustments to the pillows that you need. You certainly don't want your head dipping backwards like this and straining and squashing the neck. If you're using the bolster, you're going to come and lie down in a very similar fashion, placing the bolster lengthways along the mat. And again, having the back of the pelvis brushing the base of the bolster. You lie straight down. Now for some of you, if you feel that there is a squashing in the lower back, you might prefer to take the option that is a little bit lower with the pillows, or you can modify by maybe just sliding the hips a little further away from the bolster. And what will also help is to have the feet anchored to the mat. Another option for the legs is to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, where the soles of the feet are together and the knees drop out to the sides. And a third option is legs straight. So when you're ready, choosing your comfortable position, let the arms drop out to the sides, or you may prefer to have the hands resting on the belly, whatever works for you. Eyes softly close. And we begin to enter that state of yoga or union by becoming aware of that mind-body-breath connection. Observing first the quality of your breath, the turnings of the mind, and any physical sensations you may feel within the body. Allow the shoulders to release into the support beneath you. Begin to soften the expression on your face, particularly the muscles around the eyes and the muscles that move the eyes. And softening between the eyebrows and spreading that softness across the forehead to the temples, down to the hinges of the jaw. Let there be a space between the upper and the lower teeth. Soften the lips and your tongue. Maybe even swallow if you like. And bringing your awareness to your navel region. And breathing down into the belly as you notice the navel floating on the breath, rising on the inhale, and gently lowering on the exhale. create a softness through the pelvic floor, front, middle and back. And as you breathe into the belly and the navel rises, the pelvic floor descends ever so gently towards your feet. And as you exhale and the navel descends, the pelvic floor gently retreats. Relaxing the hands all the way up the arms to the shoulders. And the feet all the way up the legs to the hips. And sourcing that baseline of your practice and practicing from where you are now. Long, slow and steady with the breath. That smooth stream. Like a wheel turning over and over again and again. And now gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Interlock the hands above your head, straighten the arms, press up to the palms. Take a nice deep breath in. See if you can press the back of the body to the bolsters or to the pillows. And then releasing and breathing out. And roll to one side and just clear your mat of any props. And we're going to come back onto our back again. Lying down, and once you're down, hug your right knee in towards your chest and straighten the left leg. And try to create as much length through the left side of the body, all the way from the foot up to the crown of the head. Circle the right ankle a few times in each direction. Point and flex the foot. And then straighten the leg up towards the ceiling. You can interlock the fingers around the back of the leg wherever feels comfortable. And again, pointing and flexing the foot just to gently stretch out through the back and the front of the leg and foot. And then coming back to stillness. Bending that right knee again and using your left hand and gently draw that right leg across the body. And you can look over your right shoulder, extending that right arm out to the side. Once you come into your twist, if you feel a squashing in the lower back, then come back to center. Gently move your hips a little more to the right and return into your twist. And that will just help to straighten the spine a little more. Keep the chest nice and broad, shoulder to shoulder. Exhale fully. Hold the breath out, come back. Reposition the hips if need be. Bend your left leg and place the right ankle onto your left thigh. Without using your hands, let that right knee move further away. Keep the hips level at all times. Stay there or thread the arms through, and you can interlock the fingers behind the thigh, or if you can reach, around the shin. Now just be careful when you do this that you're not tilting the chin up towards the ceiling. Keep the back of the neck lengthened and gently draw that left knee a little closer towards you as the right knee continues to move away from the body. Flexing that right foot and drawing the little toe side of the foot up towards the calf will help to protect around that right knee. Exhale and release. And we're going to change legs. Right leg straight, left knee hugging in and gently pulling that leg in a little closer. Taking the circles with the ankles. And as you breathe in, you may feel your belly press against the leg and release on the exhale. And this can be quite stimulating for the abdominal organs and blood flow. Now point and flex the foot just a few times. Straightening the leg up towards the ceiling, interlocking the fingers around the back of the leg where it feels comfortable. And then point and flex the foot. The health of our feet is echoed through to the health of our pelvic floor. So it's important to try and get those feet as mobile as we can. And then bending that left knee, taking it across the body with your right hand and taking the left arm out to the side. So again, adjusting those hips as you need to. And try to work that left shoulder down towards the floor if you can. Let the breath take you deeper into the posture. One more breath here. And then exhale, holding the breath out. Come back to center. Adjust the hips if you need. And placing that left ankle to the right thigh. Keeping the hips level. Left knee moving a little further away if you can. And then when and if you feel ready, threading the arms through and grabbing hold of the right shin or maybe the back of the thigh. Left foot flexed, toes pulling up towards the shin. And gently turning the little toe side of the foot around. So it's facing towards the outer edge of that left shin. Exhale fully and release. Straightening both legs and arms overhead. Flatten the back body towards the floor. Take a breath in. And then fully relax. And breathe out. Hugging the knees in. And then gently roll to one side. Come up. And come on to all fours. Wrists positioned directly underneath your shoulders. And knees are directly underneath your hips. Drop the spine into a neutral position, and by that I mean just to follow its natural curves. Take an inhale into a nice soft belly, and then as you exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin and tailbone in. Inhale, lowering navel to floor, lifting chin and tailbone up. Exhale as we round the spine, and inhale as we do. Just doing a few more of those. Finding that rhythm of the movement that follows your breath. And then coming back into a neutral spine. Bring your legs together, take some circles with the hips, and these circles can be as big or as small as you like. So you might like to keep it fairly contained, or you may prefer to explore with slightly bigger movements all the way back to the heels, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then start to come around in the other direction. Just make sure you do the same thing in the other direction so that you're keeping that balance through movement. And then back to stillness. Now we're going to drop the hips down to the right side so you'll feel most of the weight come into that right hand. Gently grip with the fingers for support. Come back up, over to the left, firming the left wrist by gripping the fingers. Back up to center, one more time each side. Drop hips to the right and return. Hips to the left and return. Now if you can, tuck the toes underneath and sit back onto your heels. If that's not a comfortable position for you, you may prefer to come up to standing. Interlock the fingers, having the forearms together, and then start to rotate the wrists, but keep the forearms together and just gently sliding up and down one another. And reverse that direction. And release, shaking the wrists out. And then come all the way up to standing. Standing at the top of your mats, big toes touching and heels slightly apart. Hands together in front of the heart, softly closing your eyes, lengthening the front and the back body evenly. Start the inhale from the base of your feet and run it up the back of the body to the crown of the head. Let the exhale journey from the crown of the head down the front of the body to the soles of the feet. Inhaling up the back. Exhaling down the front. And keep that loop of the breath. Opening the eyes, breath in. Bend the knees, stepping your left leg back, coming into a lunge. Breathe out. Bring the right arm down and turn the upper body to the right. See if you can reach around to that left thigh. One breath here. Windmill that left arm back, right arm forward, anchor left heel to the floor, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale to the crown of the head. Exhale down to the feet. Placing the right forearm to the thigh, circling the left arm down and overhead, and doing a full rotation with that left arm and following it with the head. So you're mobilizing through the neck. Taking one more full rotation. And then extending that left arm overhead. Gently lifting your left ribs up towards the ceiling as you press down onto that right thigh. Keep the lower back lengthened. One more breath here. Exhale fully, hold the breath out, come back up into warrior 2 and inhale. And reversing that warrior. Keep length into the lower back. Create a side bend through the left side body. Exhale. Come back up into warrior, straighten into the front leg. Inhale. Step the left foot back to the right. Exhale. We're going to do that on the second side. Bending the knees, right leg steps back. Reaching the arms high. Breath in. Lower left arm, reach around for the right thigh. Turn a little deeper if you can. And breathe out. Right arm back, left arm down and forward. Right heel anchored to the floor. Virabhadrasana 2 and inhale. Exhale as we earth down into the feet. Parsvakonasana, left forearm to the thigh, right arm. 3 rotations. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Extending that right arm overhead. Holding here. Keep the face and the throat soft. Right ribs lifting. Left arm very gently anchoring down. Exhaling fully. Look down. Come back up into Virabhadrasana 2. Small breath in. Reversing the warrior. Looking down to that right leg, maybe bend a little deeper into your left knee and breathe out. Come back up into warrior. Straighten that left leg. Inhale. Step the left foot back to the right. And exhale. Back to the top of the mats. We're going to step the left leg back, placing hands on the hips to stabilize. Bring the left knee down to the floor. You can keep the left toes tucked under. Place that left hand flat to the floor, on the fingertips, or maybe onto a block if you have one handy. Taking the right arm down and forward and overhead. First option is to place that right back of the hand onto your left hip and work at moving that right elbow away from the back. If you wish to work a little deeper, grab hold of your left foot, pull the heel towards the buttock and work that stretch into that left thigh a little bit more. One more breath here. Exhale fully. Looking down and release. Come on to all fours, wrists under shoulders, hips over knees. Inhale. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, reverse that movement, lifting chin and tailbone up. Back to the neutral. Inhale, weight comes forward over the hands. Exhale, bend the elbows halfway. Spread between the shoulder blades. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, sit bones back to heels. One breath here. Now, if that's not comfortable for you, you may prefer to take a little bit more of a higher option. Exhale fully. Coming back up. Come onto the fingertips and step your left foot between the hands, and you can help it through if you need here. Tucking the right toes underneath. Keep the right hand to the floor, left arm forward and up and around. Back of the hand to that right hip, left elbow moving away from the back. Stay there or go deeper, grabbing hold of the right foot and gently pulling that foot towards the buttock. Keep the breath steady and calm. A reminder, if you can't breathe calmly, then you've gone beyond your own limitations. You're going to start to stress the body. So take a step back if that's you. Taking one more breath here. Exhale, release. Placing the hands to the floor, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, dipping the back. Exhale, back to neutral. Inhale, weight comes forward towards the hands. Exhale, squeeze the elbows in, bend halfway. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, Balasana or Child's Pose, with the option of maybe taking the higher version, just resting gently on the forearms. Taking one more breath here. Exhale fully, hands under shoulders, coming upright. And this is the time where you'd like to grab your scarf or your strap, and we'll come to lie onto our side. So let's all come onto our left side, and we're going to place the strap or the scarf around the ball of the right foot. Support the head with the left hand. Now you can have your left knee bent, which is a little bit easier for balance, or straight, which is slightly harder. We're going to gently externally rotate that right leg, so the knee is trying to point around towards the armpit, and then ever so carefully, you can gently draw that leg a little bit closer. It doesn't have to come far, and you can moderate the stretch in the back of the leg by pressing the ball of the right foot into the strap or the scarf. We're only going to take another breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then bend the knee, releasing the strap. Take your right hand to hold the outer right foot. Come to lie on your back, coming into a position we call half happy baby pose. Left knee can be bent or straight, and you're gently pulling down with that right hand but pushing up with the right foot. Try to keep the lower leg perpendicular to the floor as opposed to having it parallel. You may prefer to hold onto the lower leg if that's a little easier for you. Taking one more breath here. Exhale, release. Point the right toes, straighten that right leg, bend the knee, and then change sides. So you're going to lie onto your right side now. Strap comes around the ball of your left foot. And again, supporting the head with the right hand. Pressing the ball of the left foot into the strap or the scarf. And externally rotating that left thigh. Gently draw the leg a little closer towards the side body. And maybe even just extending that leg straight is enough of a stretch for you. Try not to overstretch. Taking one more breath here. Exhale fully. And bend the knee, releasing, placing that strap to the side. Taking hold of the outer left foot, come onto your back. Option for right knee to be bent or straight. And then gently draw the left knee down. So you're aiming to get it towards that left armpit. Pressing down with the hand and pushing up with the foot at the same time. But again, a reminder not to create too much tension here through effort. Exhale fully, straighten that left leg up to the ceiling, point the toes, firm the leg, and then bend that left knee. Now if you can, come into the full happy baby pose, so bending both knees, pull the knees down towards the armpits, push up with the feet, try not to let the lower back curl away from the floor, but work at flattening that lower back down to the mat. And again, being mindful of the length through the back of the neck. Softening through the pelvic floor. Breathing into the belly. Exhale fully. Inhale, release. Straighten both arms and legs. Exhale, hugging the knees in. Keeping your legs together. Take some gentle circles with the legs a few times in each direction. And then back to stillness. Again, grab your strap or your scarf. Place it over both feet. Straighten both legs up towards the ceiling. Feel the femur descend into the hip joints. Keeping your legs together and just start to circle the legs. So these circles don't have to be very big at all, but you may feel a sense of massage happening around the center of the pelvis, around the sacroiliac joints. And then take those circles in the other direction. And then back to stillness. Placing the strap to the side. Bringing the feet to the mat so that they're at least as wide as the mat, maybe even a little bit wider. And you can take the arms out to the sides. If you have any props in the way, you might want to just pop them out of the way. And we're going to drop the knees to the right, but look over the left shoulder. Bring the legs back through center. Drop knees to left and look right. So inhale through center. Exhale, knees left. Knees right, look left. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees left, look right. Inhale to center. Exhale, knees right, look left, and hold here. Now, if this is enough, this is where you stay. If you want to work a little deeper, you take your right foot and you place it on top of the left thigh, and you gently use that weight to stretch the outer left hip a little bit more. Exhale, take the right leg off the top, bring the knees back to center. Inhale, drop the knees to the left, look over your right shoulder. That is where you stay, or those that did so on the first side, take your left foot and place it on your right leg. Exhale fully. And taking that left foot off the top, come back to center. Hug the knees in. Now have one hand on each shin. Try to move the legs away from you as you stay active through the arms. And as you press the legs away, you'll start to feel the pelvis peel away from the mat, the lower and middle, and maybe even part of the upper back to lift away from the floor. Lift the collarbones up a little higher. Gently press the back of the head down. Now reverse that movement by flattening the back to the floor and pull the knees in nice and close. Release that effort, separate the legs a little and circle the legs independent of one another. And then reverse the movement. And back to stillness. Roll to one side, come up, grab whatever it is that you've got to keep you warm, and an eye pillow if you have one. And return to lying back on your mat. You may like to have a pillow to support your head. And coming into Shavasana, or our final resting posture. And placing the eye pillow, as I said, gently over the eyes or maybe just onto the forehead. And lying back in a comfortable position. You may like to have your legs straight. You can place a bolster under your knees, or if it feels more comfortable for your lower back, then please feel free to have your knees bent. Your eyes softly closed. And the weight of the body releasing into the support beneath you. The front of the body soft and responsive to the breath. As the navel rises and falls. Let the pelvic floor be part of this movement, this dynamic movement of the breath. Inhaling, navel rises and pelvic floor lowers towards the feet. Exhale, navel descends and pelvic floor gently retreats. Thin, steady stream of the breath. And letting the mind merge with the stillness between the breaths. You're welcome to stay resting here as long as you need. And when you feel ready to return to the external world, start to take your mind out and listen to any sounds that you can hear, any sensations that you can feel on the skin. Become aware of your body as it's lying. And start to bring some small movements to your fingers and your toes. And maybe stretching the arms overhead and lengthening the legs if they're not already. Bending your knees, rolling to one side. Let yourself rest here for a moment. Placing the hands over the eyes so the palms of the hands are covering the eyes. Open your eyes into that darkness. And then slide the hands down so now the fingers are covering the eyes. A little bit of light seeping through between them. Releasing the hands. And when you're ready, coming up and making your way back into your day. Namaste. Thank you.